Hello and welcome again to our chapter lesson 2, that is lecture 2 of development. Chapter is from your economics portion. I am Ashwin Joglekar from Resonance PCCP division. Today we are going to do the topic human development report. Previously we had covered topics, probably I will just scroll it up so that you will just have a brief revision of what we did earlier. That is, we looked at the introduction and then we saw development, different people and different goals. Then we talked about traditional notion of development and the changes in traditional notion of development. Later on, we are talking about income and other goals, and then how to compare different that is development between different countries or states, and then we saw the concept of national income, per capita income, and the World Bank's report which publishes or which classifies countries according to their income, that is the per capita income. Then also we saw that averages are useful for comparison, but it hides disparities. Then we looked at income and other criteria and comparison of 3 states and how Kerala has much more better facilities than Haryana in spite having a lesser per capita income. That is what was covered in public facilities. And now today we will start with our topic, human development report. Now, human development report is published by UNDP, United Nations Development Program, and this report has 3 ingredients basically, or 3 attributes which are part of this report. First is, as we studied, the per capita income. Second is about the life expectancy, and third is education level or literacy levels. Now, all these 3 aspects are considered while making this report. Today, human development is the core of United Nations Development Program, that is UNDP, which presents it into a new perspective of political and economic freedom and deepening of democracy at the global level, which is economically productive and socially and environmentally sound. The United Nations Development Program, that is UNDP, in its first human development report in 1990 introduced the concept of Human Development Index or HDI. The HDI is cumulative measurement of health status, that is the longevity, education level, that is the knowledge, and per capita or capita income, that is decent standard of living of a person. Now, health status, it should be here per capita income, not capital income. Okay, so health status talks about longevity, that is a choice of to live a long and healthy life. It is measured in terms of the life expectancy in terms of years. Then education level, that is knowledge is a choice to acquire literacy information. It is measured by educational attainment percentage, which is combined gross enrollment ratio in primary, secondary and tertiary levels. Now, third is the per capita income, or that is the decent standard of living, is a choice to enjoy a quality and standard life. It is measured by national income or per capita income in purchasing power parity in US dollars, alright, that is PPP in US dollars. Now, the rank of a country is determined by the overall achievements in these 3 basic dimensions of human development. HDI ranks countries in relation to each other. Again, why this comparison is being made between different countries? As you know, even competition between students in your class also helps to keep the competitive spirit high. That is why even we or anyone is able to perform or do much more better or given much more than what he or she has given earlier. Similarly, here also the countries, when they are compared, they also know what are the standards set for them or what are the benchmarks, so they also strive to do better and reach those goals. Therefore, HDI ranks countries in relation to each other to tell them how far a country has travelled in terms of the path of its development. In this way, HDI is indicative to the levels of human development and not complete measure of development, because again this is a continuous progress. On the basis of Human Development Index, 189 countries, that is according to 2018 of the world, have been classified into high, medium and low human development categories. India is placed into the group of medium human development with a rank of 130th rank out of 189. So, life expectancy in years is 68.8 according to 2017, and GDP per capita US dollars is 1,000 709.39 according to 2016 data. Now, again, this is some data regarding 2019. In this table, we have compared or taken the countries, that is India and its neighboring countries. We have here Sri Lanka, India, Myanmar, Pakistan, Nepal and Bangladesh. Now, as per the recent things which we have been witnessing in Sri Lanka, but still according to this 2019 data, the gross national income or per capita income in Sri Lanka was much way higher than what was in India, that is $12,707. India was at second with $6,681. Life expectancy again in Sri Lanka is much high, 77. India stands at 69.7, that is after Nepal and Bangladesh, sorry, after Bangladesh and Nepal, and then mean years of schooling and finally the rank. So, India is at 130, Sri Lanka is performing, or Sri Lanka's performance among the neighboring countries is much better, that is it is at 73 or 73rd position among the 189 countries. Okay. So, this is the table which has been provided for the comparison of various countries, and here they have only included India and its neighbors. You can just check the data here if you want. India 130, Myanmar is at 148, Pakistan is at 154, Nepal at 143 and Bangladesh at 134. Now, probably while doing this, you can also check your progress and do attempt these question and answers at home, so that you know till where you have learned your concept. That is, give an example of a development plan that has conflicting goals according to World Bank, what can determine the development of a country. If income is the only criteria, then which state between Maharashtra and Kerala may be considered more developed? Which Indian state has an efficient public distribution system? Now, moving on to our next topic, that is human development and economic development. Again, does human development is all about economic development, or these two are different things, or do they have a certain kind of connection in between them? Economic development is a broader concept. It is economic growth plus something more than economic growth. The basic ideas in economic development are rise in productivity, decline in unemployment, poverty and inequality from high levels. Economic development alone cannot promote human development. So, it is a part, but also it can not just alone be a promoter of human development. Human development again is the process of both quantitative as well as qualitative growth. The concept of human development was taken into a broader sense. It touches social, economic, political and cultural aspects of human life, with special emphasis on reduction of poverty and minimizing the gap between the rich and the poor, the disparity levels. There should not be an unemployment problem in the economy. The concept of human development touches all aspects of human life, or which are the aspects which concern human life. This brings us to our topic, that is sustainability of development. Now, again, sustainable development you have seen again in your class, that is class 10th geography chapter, resources and development. There also we talk about sustainable development. Here also sustainability of development is a matter of sharing development opportunity, not the poverty and human deprivation. If the present is miserable and unacceptable to the majority of the world's people, it must be changed before it is sustained. In other words, what must be sustained are worthwhile life opportunities, not human deprivation. So, therefore, sustainable development is the real economic development accompanied by an increase in economic welfare, which can be potentially shared by future generations as well. So, therefore, again development done not at the harm of the others or the future generations. So, therefore, example are given are groundwater in India or exhaustion of nation's resources. So, these again are for future generations also. We are not the only ones who are entitled to use these resources. So, therefore, there should be a concept of sustainable development, that is. Now, features given are productivity is increased, increase in output in real terms, standard of living of people is improved and there is an addition to welfare, objectives of removal of poverty, inequality and illiteracy are achieved and more employment opportunities are generated. It emphasizes that cost of development, particularly cost of environmental loss, should be taken care of, and standard of life has to be improved. Stock of natural capital, that is stock of renewable and non-renewable resources, should be taken or is maintained and increased, along with the preservation of human capital and physical capital. Now, why there is a need for sustainable development? Because of the rapid economic growth and industrialization have led to reckless exploitation of our resources. The stock of natural resources like forests, fossil fuels, which meets most of our energy requirements, are limited. Therefore, the growth of all countries in the future therefore likely to be endangered if the limited resources are completely exhausted. Although fossil fuels and minerals are essential for economic development, their use damages the environment and ecology. They cause pollution and disturb the balance in nature. Therefore, the global concern today is to adopt a strategy of economic growth that is environment friendly. The steps which are taken for sustainable development, some of the important measures being considered for this purpose are increased use of renewable energy and clean sources of energy, the green energy, less use of fossil fuels, organic farming, measures to reduce global warming and global limits on carbon emissions, etc. Earth has enough resources to meet the needs of all, but not enough to satisfy the greed of even one person. Now, this was a quote by Mahatma Gandhi, that there is enough to satisfy everybody's need, but not somebody's greed. So, sustainability is the capacity to use the resources judiciously and maintain their balance. Every generation wants to get the greatest benefits from the available resources, but they should also keep in mind that what they are doing is also taking the share of the future generations. But such a thing would be quite disastrous, because the available resources shall be exhausted at a rapid speed and within a short period of time, and we, especially our coming generations, will be deprived of such resources. So, we should use our resources most judiciously, so that certain part of them is left for our coming generations to use it in future. We should protect our animal wealth, both animals and birds, from human exploitation, otherwise some species will be lost forever. Apart from that, most of the mineral wealth, again certain resources like water, wind energy and solar energy are inexhaustible, but we must see that they are not put to wrong use. There is no harm in using the land for cultivation, but we should see that its fertility is maintained, otherwise it will sooner turn into a wasteland. And most of the mineral wealth and iron, copper, gold and silver, etc. is exhaustible, and is as such must be used very carefully. So, no doubt we should utilize our resources for our benefits, but we should sustain them and maintain them for our future as well as for the welfare of coming generations. So, therefore, most appropriately it has been said that earth has enough resources to meet the demands of all, but not enough to satisfy the greed of even one person, because the greed is what is never finished. It is always increasing. You today you have some money, tomorrow you want more money, and day after tomorrow you want probably more money. So, one way or the to find out if we are properly nourished is to calculate about the BMI, which has been mentioned here. Probably you can see how BMI is calculated, weight of each student in kilograms, and the height is measured, and then the height is converted into centimeters into meters, and divide the weight in kg by the square of the height. So, you get the BMI, and that brings us to the end of our chapter. Here again some key terms are mentioned, that is material goods, infant mortality rate, literacy rate, net attendance ratio and public distribution system. You can just go through them, and I hope you like the video. Thank you so much, and this completes your chapter development.